All right, guys, welcome back to the Ice Project. Roll the intro. First ever YKTR Sports athlete, Brandon Smith. What's up?
Was pretty good. Was that actually? Did you create that jingle yourself?
Yeah, I've had this for like years, bro. Oh, do you know Volley K, the Fijian dude?
Yeah.
Yeah, bro, when I first started the podcast, I was like, oh, I just want an intro. Bro, can you sing me one? And I was in Hong Kong and he sent it through. I was like, yeah, this is it.
He's a king, eh?
Yeah. Oh, we'll take you down to a Sunday session one time when you got off the season.
Keep me away from those Sundays.
Hey, bro, what's up? How are you?
No, good. Yeah, loving life in Sydney. Just getting my feet on the footy field, but yeah, like everyone always says, it's only round 3, so I'm looking forward to what's coming.
Sort of when I think about Melbourne Storm, notoriously fast starters, don't miss round 1. You've come to the Roosters where like we can't put a round 1 game together. It's like kind of confusing watching from the outside in. Is there any like clear distinctions on why that sort of happens, or is it just one of those things?
Oh, I've got no idea. I think a little part of it is Luke Keary's soft and never trains in pre-season, so we never get that connection. I love Luke Keary, but yeah, a lot of people play in the World Cup for the Sydney Roosters. I guess the same for the Melbourne Storm, but I think their focus is not solely on round 1. I think there's not a tunnel vision on that first round game. Whereas at Melbourne, I think because they're protecting that record, and I mean, it means a lot to Craig, and he loves how it's a reflection of pre-season. I think that's got a lot to play in that. But yeah, I think at the Sydney Roosters, a lot of World Cup players away. James Tedesco, you know, he comes later than everyone else. Luke Keary, you got to protect his head. So things like that where you don't really get the cohesion right, and the only way you can get the cohesion is by playing together. So yeah, I think we're starting to build now, and it's getting a lot better. Yeah,
it looked all right on the weekend. Obviously going up against Salves as your first time playing in one of those local derbies. Melbourne had that derby against Manly, and then it was kind of like a little bit before your time. What was it like rolling into something that, you know, that's got that much history behind it?
Yeah, the thing, I think Robbo did a great job at the start of the week not to focus on the rivalry in itself. He focused on the football, our football, and pretty much kept it that way. I didn't really hear anything about the rivalry, and I thought there was going to be a big build-up and something, but I think he took all the emotion out of the week. And yeah, when we ran out there on the field, for me it felt like another game, but the crowd was electric.
It was mad, yeah.
The crowd was going off, and it was crazy because they weren't just going for the Roosters. Like the Bunnies had a massive showing as well, and every time the Bunnies did something good, the crowd would erupt. Every time the Roosters did something good, the crowd would erupt. But yeah, it was good. It was good to be able to get back on the field, get to meet Pi. It was pretty lovely. So,
do you enjoy coming off the bench?
Yeah, well, I made a career of coming off the bench. Sat behind Cam Smith all my life, and then
he's all right, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a pretty good player, that kid. But yeah, it's not the worst thing in the world, because when you got people like Jared sitting next to you, you know you're not in the worst place, and just he give you that confidence that everyone's going to be tired when you get out there. You just go out there and play my role, and it kind of works in my favour. I'm ideally a running hooker, and when everyone's already tired, when I'm fresh, it's ideal.
Yeah, for sure. Jared, obviously, like I think he's starting to get the reps that he deserves. So he's always been a quality prop, and you probably not took it for granted, but you always had a guy like Jesse Bromwich that your pack would lean on down in Melbourne, and we missed Jared those first couple games. How important is he, bro?
Yeah, well, I think everyone knows what he brings to our club, and he's the enforcer. Like and you feel 10 feet taller standing next to him on the field. And I think that's a massive thing. I think we missed that real bad in the Redcliffe game, because as things started getting physical and we started getting dominated through the middle, we didn't really have that enforcer that would. And then Victor Radley come off, who was our little enforcer. But yeah, we needed that someone like Jared to come in and really straighten us up and kind of put fear into the opponent's eyes when we were kind of feeling that.
Bro, it's weird you say that because I remember when I used to play Jared, and because we're sort of a similar age, and whenever I wasn't the toughest cunt in the world, but whenever I used to play half, like would do a quick play the ball, and I'd always look up, and the first thing I used to look for was like, "Fuck, where's Jared?
Yeah.
Like, where's that cunt hiding? Not hiding, but like, is he at B or is he at C? Because bro, it'll. I wasn't like scared of him, but I knew he was coming.
Yeah,
I knew. So that enforcer factor is really important, isn't it?
Yeah, I think every pretty much good club's got one. Like if you look at Penrith, you'd be able to tell who their enforcer is.
Yeah, Fisher Harris.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like you've got those teams that you just know who their enforcer is. When Melbourne Storm were on, you know that's Jesse Bromwich. And they play.
You need a two as well, I reckon.
Yeah.
If you got that guy that can complement you, like you guys got Radley, you guys got Lindsay Collins now, he can step into that role.
Yeah, Penrith have Yo.
Yeah.
Bunnies have Cam Murray. Like all those people.
Moses Leota, he just bangs.
He's the mad dog, mate. He's exactly what you need in a front rower. He's faster than you think.
So Moses Leota.
He scurries around the field pretty good.
Is he big? He's not overly big, is he?
He's pretty big, bro.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, shirt off, he's pretty big.
I think that's like the perfect build now. You look at guys like him, Fisher Harris, and even Jared's like kind of a traditional prop, but you look at those props now, Adam Fanua, you turn him side on and they're like really thick, like side on.
Yeah, Fisher Harris is thick, but he's not that heavy. He's like 100 kilo.
Oh, is he?
Yeah. Like in camp, he was only like 102. So like he's massed, like he's just all muscle. But he's got those athletic legs.
That's the perfect build, bro.
He's like a don't want to say a Fafita. Fafita's a bit more top heavy, my man. But he's got those little skinny legs that can just go all day. But he's just one of the enforcers, and Jared's that for us. And I think Jared's come a long way, bro. Especially mentally, the way he prepped for that game, the way he's been in preseason. When he talks, everyone listens. He makes the jokes. He's got it all.
So he's got the nice little balance of like class clown / you're the guy we look up to.
Yeah, before the training paddock, class clown. On the training paddock, like get out of my fucking way. Like
get the sternum guard on. See you later. I was watching him from up top because we were sort of up high, and like I was watching him really closely because as soon as both you guys jumped on at that 20-minute mark, like you just started to see the line just go bend, and then obviously open up the opportunity for you. But even off the ball, like you can see him talking in huddles, or when it started to get frantic, when Joey gets sent off, he was just going, "Look, we're cool here, we're cool." So it's that balance of leadership, isn't it?
Yeah, I think like the saying is like too many chefs in the kitchen. And there's like so many great minds. You got like Victor, who's like ridiculously footy smart. He's like, Cam Munster, how they're a bit of a larrikin off the field, but when it comes to footy smarts, they're the smartest in the room. And then you got Luke Carey, James Tedesco, Sam Walker. They got all these people. So when they're bouncing off ideas on the field, and Jared, I guess, doesn't agree with them, he just pretty much comes over and goes, "Shut up, let's run the ball hard." Like, and then everyone's just like, "Okay, let's listen to Jared."
So he's the Jack and Yucca.
Yeah, exactly. He just trumps everything. and it's funny because he does it in the meetings as well. He's just like, "Oh, yep, man, run hard."
Yeah. I heard Trent Robinson sort of talk about that. He said Jared's coached as many players as I have. So, and it would be nice hearing that, if you're a prop too.
Yeah, he's got a big old head, but
bro, James Tedesco, when I look at him, obviously one of the best players in this generation, if not ever. What's he like, bro? Because he's so low key. It's like in a world where we love social media and access, bro. What's he up to?
He's like Cam Smith to me. Like, you know how Cameron Smith is. No one really knows what he's like, and like I get a lot of questions from the Roosters boys, like, "Oh, what's Cam like?" And you can't like say one bad word about him. Like you cannot. And it's the same with Teddy. He's a leader. He's got a lot to say at that club. Basically, he probably has more say than the CEO at the club. Maybe not Nick Politis. It probably goes Politis, James Tedesco, and then Joe Kelly. And then Jared.
Jared, yeah.
But yeah, he's just so chill. Keeps to his own. Loves golf. Just a normal bloke, but
I heard he does. Kerry telling me he doesn't hit him too well for the amount of golf that Teddy plays. He should be hitting him a little bit sweeter.
Yeah, apparently he doesn't use a driver, so
It just doesn't like
yeah,
him?
just put the driver away.
The old Texas wedge, but with the fucking iron. So what about a couple, like, think about the Roosters, they're really low key. Is that something that's ingrained with them, or do they, like, I know you enjoy being in content, and like when I look around, all those other boys are super low key. Kerry's low key, Suwali's low key.
Yeah, I think they're just kickback dudes. I think, yeah, a lot of them don't have too much to say. Kez is funny as behind closed doors, but you never really see him other than at the training field. So
Yeah.
he's family. Like a lot of them are family men now. A lot of them, I guess, are trying to start families, and yeah, they're just low key team. I like doing this stuff because this is what I want to do. This is like, I like talking. I like talking about footy. I love rugby league. I eat, breathe, and shit rugby league all my life. Like, what better way to do it than after my career be able to eat, shit, breathe rugby league again? So I'd love to get into this avenue, and that's why I like being spoken and getting them reps in with you and James. It's good, but yeah, I think a lot of the other boys probably want to just settle it down after footy. So yeah,
And we live in a good spot. What's it like? What's the biggest transition? Put football aside, from Melbourne coming to Sydney, because it's a hub of rugby league. There's 8 teams in a pretty confined space, and you've come to one of the biggest clubs. But what's it just like the moving to Sydney?
Yeah, moving to Sydney's been good. I thought it was going to be a lot harder with it being a rugby league town, but I think when you go out in public, people are so used to seeing rugby league players around, and it's not like this big, like, oh, there's Brandon Smith or there's James Tedesco. So they're just normal people seeing like we're normal people, sort of.
Yeah.
I guess you get stopped a little bit, but in Melbourne, if you get stopped, they're diehard rugby league fans because it's not a rugby league town.
Yeah.
So if someone notices me in Melbourne, they're going to come up and have a massive chat and talk footy because they're massive fans. Whereas here, it's just rugby league's like, they're fans of rugby league, but it's not like they don't see NRL players every day. Like I bump into NRL players all the time.
Yeah, it's weird, eh? Because
all the time.
Like, you guys hang around in the grass, in Bondi, then like Reed Marnie will just rock up, you know what I mean? There's all these different guys from different crews. Yeah, it's cool.
Exactly. It's cool as, bro, and you get to know a lot more of the people. And then some of our friendship groups have played for different teams, and then they've got mates from other teams. Like Kurt's mates are all Manly boys, and then they get invited to the parties that we're at, so you get along with all the Manly boys. But yeah, it's been a vibe, bro. Being able to go down to the beach every day, pretty much, getting a tan on, swimming, fishing. There's just a few more outdoor activities to do than there is in Melbourne. There's a lot of restaurants, cafes. But yeah, I still miss the boys and like being able to hang out with them all the time. But I guess I'm starting to get that comfort here. So
who was your crew down in Melbourne?
Cooper Johns, number 1.
Oh, he's here anyway.
Yeah, he's here now. I just went to dinner with him last week. Harry Grant would probably be number 2. And then we got all the boys I used to live above or with. It's like Trent Liero, Jack Howarth, Xavier Coates, Cole Guy. Like, all those boys all lived in the same proximity.
Wow.
Within like 500 metres. Josh King, like, we all lived in Richmond.
Yep.
So yeah, it was pretty good.
Cool spot. Your best mate Cooper Johns, you must be pretty proud of him. Obviously, like, sort of rolled into Manly and had a hell of a preseason, and he was talking about it. But even that round 1 game, bro, he looked like a really good first grader there. Good 5'8".
Yeah, he's always been good, especially like because he was what you call a renegade, which is the second team, and we train against each other and all the time, and he'd always carve us up.
Oh,
like,
did he?
He'd always train real well against us, and we always knew that he could play. And then he got those couple of games and that he played pretty well. He beat Penrith, then we beat Gold Coast Titans with him. And he was carrying on. He's like, I've just taken on the 2 best back rows. I've taken on the 2 most devastating back rows in rugby league, and I've bested them.
Yeah.
And Bellamy kick out and Dave Fafita. So he was pretty happy with himself. But yeah, I guess I am just proud of him because during the off season, he was putting in that work. Like a lot of the time, I'd hit him up to go for a beer or something. He'd be training with his brother Jack, and that's a side of Cooper I'd never really saw. I knew he trained, but like this was more
personal.
more than usual. And I know he wanted to go down there and just didn't want to make up the numbers. And when I seen him trial the way he did, play his first game, I guess it does just make you proud. Like, he's a close friend of mine, and he's had a pressuring upbringing. Your uncle's
Joey.
Your uncle's Joey Johns, one of the greatest footy players ever, and your dad's Matty Johns, the funniest rugby league presentator in the world. Pretty good footballer as well.
Yeah.
So
he's so good as his post-football career has been so great with Matty Johns that you forget how good he was as a 6, eh?
yeah, exactly.
And then his brother's fucking the 8th.
Yeah, I think that's what overshadows it a little bit.
I've always wanted to ask Cooper that. Like, am I like carrying that last name? Because everyone just goes, oh, you're going to be a gun on the field. And then once you get off, fucking tell us some jokes. And like Cooper's funny, like different type of funny, but he's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
It must be tough carrying that last name.
Yeah, I think when you get to know Cooper, you get to talk about things like that, and I think it would be tough for him, and I know that he's struggled with a lot of things before. So yeah, just to see him thriving at the moment and to see him happy, bro. Like, I went over to his house the other day. He was so happy. I don't think he was happy with how well Schuster played, to be honest.
Schuster's looking nice.
Yeah,
too.
I don't think he was happy with how Schuster was playing. I think he was a bit gutted, but like, I can tell that he's happy, and he wasn't for a long time in Melbourne. With, like, obviously he spent a lot of time there, and he got about 5 or 6 games.
Yeah.
So to see him happy, that's the best thing.
All right, yeah. I'm just going to start bringing out a couple of other boys. The Butcher Brothers, what are they? I got to meet Egan on the weekend. Fuck, he's a sick cunt.
Bro, it's so funny. They're so polar opposite.
They're different,
They're
eh?
so polar opposite. Nat's got anger issues.
Who was he trying to fight on the weekend? Cody?
Well, I don't think he was trying to fight him. I think Cody Walker was trying to fight Nat. But yeah, he's just like quite a nerd. And Egan's a mad dog. I hang out with Egan a lot, and I like Egan.
Big looking,
The
good
Butcher
looking
boys.
cunt, eh? Yeah, they're so
I don't know if
different.
you've seen that movie Grimsby.
Nah.
Oh, don't worry then. The Butcher Boys from Grimsby. It's a good movie. You need to watch.
Our little boy Jakey Turpin doing a bit of damage on the field and off.
I've known Jakey since I was 14. We played against each other for Queensland, like Whites and Queensland Maroons, but yeah, he gets shit done, Jakey boy. I think
pound for pound, like I've hung around some guys that can pull. Man, Jakey's up there, man.
Yeah, he goes hard, bro. He's been like that all his life, though.
Oh, has he?
Yeah, but yeah, he's pretty good at what he does. He's not like a jerk. Like, he plays that. I guess good guy card, but he is a good guy. It's not like he goes out there and tries to like disrespect any woman or anything.
Yeah,
he goes
for
out
sure.
there and just bees himself, and I guess he pulls. He's pretty cute though. He's got them eyes. He pretends to be a country boy from Ipswich or whatever, but yeah, he's a Melbourne boy at heart, I reckon.
Yeah, he was going well on the weekend, and he had conjunctivitis, he had pink eye. I was like, bro, if you're pulling with pink eye, you're going all right.
Bro, he had that for like 2 weeks, but doesn't knock his confidence, bro.
Just cruising out. You know, in football, like, if guys can pull and they're good on the punt, like, the boys get around him, and he's both of those.
Yeah, that was funny on the weekend, bro.
Jagged us a little win too,
Yeah.
so pretty good.
Jagged us a little win, and then randomly would start screaming at the TV. He's like, mate, where's the rest of the tips, brother?
yeah, he keeps him on the low, eh? Then he starts screaming, like, yes,
Yeah.
that's my sister on
He
the
loves
trots.
the trots, though. He loves the trots, loves
His
bidding on
family's in it, though, isn't
yeah,
it?
and I've always called the trots the cheats on seats. So, I don't know, but yeah, his sister drives and his dad works on the track. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Do you know how I knew he was a good bloke? So, like, Chico normally hates everyone. He doesn't know. He'd just be like, he's just that person, you know what I mean? And especially if they play same position. He's that guy. And then if he used to ring up, he'd be like, fuck, this Jake Turpin's like a good cunt, man. And I was like, fuck, if you're saying that and you're in both going for the 9 at the Bronx, he must be a good cunt.
Yeah. I've always had good number 9s playing with me as well.
Yeah.
Never
It's never... Oh, you've
Except
been...
that Cam Smith, like, what a grab.
What's your thoughts on Melbourne? They've kind of, like, obviously started well, but then once Munster... How important is Munster to Melbourne right now?
I just can't believe they fucking challenged that shoulder charge with Jerome Hughes, bro.
Oh, yeah.
What was the case they were thinking, bro? Because that was, to me, like, dead set.
Obvious.
Like, obvious. Like, I don't know what he was... But, yeah, I sent him a few messages. But I think with Melbourne, bro, it's just... You lose 1,000 games experience. You lose 1,000 games experience, and you expect them to be the team they were last year with those 1,000 games more experience. Like,
But do you know what, bro? They were saying that when, like, Smith and Slater left and you guys rock up and then Jerome turns into like a quality 7.
The way I see that is Smith and Slater left, like, Smith left by himself. He didn't take anyone with him. Slater left by himself.
Yeah.
But we literally, like, Melbourne literally lost 5 at once. Like 5 guys that have been at the club for 5+ years, 6+ years.
And they're guys too, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
Kafusi,
Yeah.
like K-Brom.
They're all leadership. They're all in the senior leadership group. I think Munster and Walshy were the only senior leadership group left.
Yeah.
And Munster, well, he's not really a senior leadership group guy.
Oh, it does. You know, it's funny you say that. I remember I think he got put in a leadership group maybe like last year, and like me and Scope were watching, like we seen the video, we're like, fuck, how's this kind of only just got in now? But once you know him, it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. But I think footy-wise, they just got an adjusting period to go. Losing Munster, they've got no Hughes now. Yeah, it'd be really interesting if they lost to the Tigers.
I know you probably don't know, but like they're sort of having whispers around Bellamy maybe wrapping up. Do you see those? Do you see that sort of happening, or
Yeah.
just don't even know?
Yeah.
He's
I see him wrapping up.
And Slater would rock in, or
Nah, no way.
just cruise and do the Queensland job.
Slater's the busiest man in rugby league. Like
What does he do?
What doesn't he do is like he runs a thoroughbred. Like that's getting up at 4 a.m, feeding horses. Like does all that.
He would probably be running next to him.
Channel 9, Queensland. Like he does heaps. He does a lot of promos, speaking gigs. Like he's a busy man. I can't. Well, it shocked me, but I can't see him. And man, it's trying to be a coach and coming after Bellamy, like you're setting yourself up for failure almost.
This podcast is actually brought to you by Dr. V, former sponsor of Grouse and a Few Reds. As you see in the bottle, they've gone for a bit of a rebrand. I actually love it. Looks a lot cleaner, looks sick. But we've actually had this product in our office for the past couple of years and something that I actually use. So in the afternoon, there's 2 things that I value. 1 is my brain and 2 is time. And anything that can help my brain and save me time, I'm going to use. And the time I like to use is actually in the afternoon, sort of that 1:30, 2 o'clock sort of time slot where you don't want to have a break from work because you're in a nice little flow. You don't want to go out and get a coffee and wait in line and drink a coffee, then try and get back into your workflow because it sort of messes it up. Obviously, having Dr. V's in the office, in the beer fridge, goes beer, Dr. V, and water. Allows me to quickly go to the fridge, grab something cold, smack it. It's all natural. It's got nootropics in it, and it helps with mental clarity that helps me get through the afternoon. So for me, it's really, really important. Guys, if you do want to get some Dr. V in you, my favorite is the blue one. There's Bender Menders, there's different stuff, but for me, I just use it for clarity and focus and more so just flow. I want my days to flow, and this helps me get through it. So if you want to get on, jump on drv.com.au. I said it again, drv.com.au. Use my code ICE, ICE. I'll say it again, ICE, ICE. All right, back to the podcast.
Like, that's a tough gig, bro.
Yeah, I feel like you'd be the guy. Is there, you know how Bellamy always got gun assistants and they all end up picking up roles anyway? Have they got anyone down there at the moment?
Yeah, I think Mark Bretnell, he's well respected at the club. He's been there. His dad was one of the founding players at the club, Greg Bretnell, I think player. But I think he would be my guess. Like, I love Marky. All the boys loved Marky. He knows what he's talking about. He's played rugby league. He's been around it like since he was a baby.
Yeah.
And he's pretty smart. So the thing about Belzer is he's not like, and I've said this heaps, he's not like that much of a coach as much. Because he's already got that blueprint. Back in the day maybe, but he's already got that blueprint of what works. And he kind of just distributes what he thinks to the other coaches, and then they coach us. He just gets in there and just effort areas, defense. That's what he coaches. And yeah, I guess he's completely opposite to Trent Robinson in that way. Trent watches the finer, minute details of like footing.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah, the passing, like all that line organisation, all that stuff, and Bells is more like effort,
Yeah.
like just grind your way through games.
Yeah. All right. This is actually rolls into the first question nicely.
Jeez, you handsome hunk of a man. What's been the biggest difference between Robbo's training and intensity compared to what it was like at the Storm? It always interests me to the difference between the two, probably the two best coaches in the comp. Also, catch me and my boy at Allianz Stadium soon, wearing cheese heads from Lambeau Field in the Chook Pen. Chookies forever. Let's go.
The Chook Pen.
Yeah, key differences.
Yeah, that would be those things I just spoke about. That major differences there. Trent's minute details. Obviously, he wants effort, but it's not like he's just so, I don't know, just particular with everything. And I like it because it's something that I've not really been coached by or learnt. And like he kind of wants me to think like a fullback. He told me so.
Yeah. Or get out the back of shape. Eh? Teddy, move over.
whereas Bells are just, he's not so much like how you get it done. It's just get it done.
Find a way.
Yeah. And the training intensity is exactly the same. Like there's no secret recipe to good teams, and it's hard work, and they both do that. Like this week off we've had hasn't really been a week off. We've honestly been through a preseason. The last 3 days, the training's been that hard. And I think Belzer would have done the exact same thing with our buy.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
what's one thing that Trent's taught you that you didn't even think of about? Because there's really attention to detail. It might be very broad, but what's like a small thing that he's? Because I want to know how detailed he is. Because I've had chats with him, and he told me he'd jump on the podcast too one day too. So hopefully you can get him on.
I think there's heaps, bro. There's heaps of different things, but like line organisation is key. And I don't want to give away too many secrets, but yeah, just where we are on the field and how many numbers have to be in this certain position. And it's not like when you're running a set. It's not like just off the cuff. Like a lot of the stuff is like if a front row runs here, then this guy's going to be here and this guy's going to be here, and there's just a lot of detail in all the plays. So
yeah,
and we're not always going to execute that, but just having that as a forefront in your mind of that's where you need to be on your next job, then I guess you think about it subconsciously, and yeah, there's just a lot of things that that he goes through, but I just don't know if I can talk about it in case I give away too many secrets. I don't want the Tigers coming on the podcast and hearing what I'm saying. And suddenly they make a massive comeback.
What's the difference between like one of my favorite things about football was just seeing how coaches delivered and like how coaches got you up. Like what's the key delivery messages and like a pregame compared to against the two different coaches? Like I just assume Bellamy's just gonna get you ready, get you up, ready to roll. And then, like, what's the key differences that you notice?
Nah, they're pretty similar.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So that shocks me,
on a pre-game speech, yeah, they're pretty similar. They're pretty aggressive with their tone, firm with what they want done, and I guess they just go back to what they've spoken about throughout the week, but very similar and really good at it too. Belzer usually has if it's an important game, he'll have one meeting before like a team meeting where he'll just sit in front of the team and just go through, I don't know, I guess like a saying or something that resonated with him.
Oh, so he falls back on quotes and different stuff like that?
Yeah, and then Robbo's the same. He'll fall back on a book he read, like Art of War, and like something like will come after that. And
yeah,
I think, what did we do? We didn't do Carpe Diem. That was for Melbourne. We did like...
Seize the day.
Yeah.
Carpe Diem.
Carpe Diem. He did like a big speech about seizing the day, and that's not just like getting through training, that's like taking on training. So stuff like that is I
know Robbo builds and I don't know if he got this from the All Blacks or the Union, but he builds themes around the season, and
yeah, same with Melbourne.
Melbourne do that too.
See,
I hadn't heard of that before.
Yeah. No, that's There's even like songs, like Melbourne do songs.
Mm.
Like we play the same song after a win every time to attach feeling to that song.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and then the themes, I guess, I don't know what it does, but they do it.
Yeah, they do it, and
Yeah.
they do it well.
Yeah.
So the reason I love the Roosters is because, like, from top to bottom, it's a pretty interesting organisation. It's super successful. There's great coaching, great talent. They didn't hide from success, but above the football department, there's these guys up there that I look up to that I think are cool.
Yeah.
What's it like having that type of connection?
It's pretty cool, bro. You don't realise how rich those guys are until you really think about it and look at them and go. You can just see in the strut. You know someone's got it, got money, or like got the swagger or the riz when they walk around like they do. But it's awesome because all those guys are, they might be multi-millionaires, even /billionaires, but a lot of them are just footy fanatics. They just love it. Like when we beat the Bunnies, Mark Fennessy come up and he was just happier than you've ever seen a human being. And it's like, you've got millions and millions of dollars, bro. It's just a game of rugby league. But to them, they are diehard Roosters supporters. And it's good to have those kind of people around the club.
Nick Politis, sort of like, we all know what he looks like. Hardly ever hear him talk. What's he like?
Yeah, he's just the boss, the godfather.
Yeah.
I talk to him not that much, but when you do, it's always just a love conversation. Just a very lovely, friendly guy. Do anything for you, pretty much. And I think he's just got a lot of respect from a lot of the boys, and it's just because he's such a nice guy. Like, he's just.
Do they care about people first? I feel like.
Oh, for sure. Like, they would want me to be happy before they want me to be a good footballer. And I guess it all coincides with each other. Like, if I'm happy off the field, I'm going to be happy on the field. Yeah. And I think they do it well here.
Yeah, for sure. All right, going to roll into the next question. Oh, quick one. You must be proud of your boy Nico Hines, eh? Sort of, obviously, Dally M, sort of was behind Pappy back down there, but sort of found his own feet and obviously going through a lot of drama, and he keeps stepping up and doing what he does. You must be proud of him, eh?
Bro, it's hard not to be. Like, even if you weren't his friend, like,
yeah,
you
for
just
sure.
have a look and you see how many people have rallied around him, how many people respect him, and I've always thought the world of him when I first started playing with him in Melbourne. But like, even when I had those first 2 bad games, guess who texted me? Like,
he gets it, eh?
Yeah, he gets it, and then you're so comfortable to talk about stuff with him that it's just not. It's not a burden to try like release stress off yourself talking to him. Yeah. And then what he's gone through, obviously, and then what he's gone through, and he's the one chucking the hand out. Like, it's just fucking crazy, bro. Like,
he just gets it, eh?
Yeah, and then he does what he does on the footy field. He puts in the reps. He's bloody good, and then now he's got that calf injury. I can't wait to see him play this week. So.
Yeah, he's back, so it should be interesting. Sharks have been sort of struggling a little bit without him.
But then through all this wholesome loveliness of him, he's still an absolute lad.
Do you know what? I'm fucking sick of seeing the cunt at Beach Road. That's what I'm like. Don't say God's country in Cronulla and then hang out in Bondi every week and think you run the joint.
Yeah, exactly, bro. He said the same thing to me. He's like, you been in my spot yet? I was like, what's your spot? He's like, the beachy. Like, mate, you live in the Shire, relax.
Stay there. Yeah, if you want to be Cronulla, stay there.
But he's still a lad. I love it.
Next question.
Hey, Ice and Smitty. Just a question for Smitty. Just wondering, mate, how's the good old ribs after being hit by the Tongan Finn Diesel? Up the Dolphins.
What was he doing at the end there?
I don't know.
Smitty,
just go again.
Question.
Just rush it to the end. Fuck, that sounded a bit of like a gobby, eh?
Up the Finnies.
Yeah. He got you good, eh?
Bro, the ribs were sore at the game, but the following week I think I had like a injury because of that shot. I tore a bit of my oblique, and that it's still sore now.
Has your brother got the photo? Oh, we'll get the photo of your brother.
Oh, the bruising.
Yeah. That was crazy.
Yeah, it was pretty yuck, but it's sore now, but it's a lot more manageable. But yeah, Felice smoked me, bro.
What about with the ref's mic was right next to you too?
At the start, it hurt, bro, like real bad, and then I got up and was like, fucking hell, bro. And then I was trying to run it off, look cool. Nah, felt it the whole game. Fuck, 8 stitches in the head, beauty.
Yeah. What a start, to the
Bro,
old
what a
Roosters career.
start.
Yeah.
It's good to see the bro get actually 4 weeks for mistiming one of those shots, the dog.
What are we trying to fight his case on his own too,
Bro, he what did Nico say? He watched a few episodes of Suits and thought, oh, fuck the case. But bro, he's I didn't think he deserved 4 weeks.
Nah,
I didn't
no
think
way, bro.
Bro, I didn't, like 1 week maybe.
Yeah.
I thought he'd get it off, to be honest.
Yeah.
When you put those comparisons side by side, with the other late shots, I thought, like, he even tries to pull out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Had to be Jackson Hastings, didn't it? Had to be Jackson Hastings.
Fuck, he must be. It's been a cool story, the Dolphins.
Yeah, awesome, bro. I'm pretty stoked, bro, because like a lot of my boys are there. Like Jesse, Kenny, those are my boys.
Yeah.
Those are my bros. And I know how much they both hate losing. So to see them, like, when everyone thought that they were old or too old or, they were dead weight at the Storm. Like, a lot of the Storm fans said that. To see them thriving there, it's awesome, bro. It's good.
Yeah, for sure. Big game tonight. I don't know when we drop this podcast.
I think Wayne's the perfect coach for
tonight.
I think he's the perfect coach for Jesse Bromwich.
What's that?
You know how he did that, all the media. It's just like they always ask him closed questions, and he just will always answer it with a closed answer. It's just like, how do you think the team's going? Good, like stuff like that. And I think Jesse's a man of very few words, and he'd just be perfect for. So as soon as Wayne gives a closed answer, I think Jesse will just come off the back of, good.
Yeah, for sure. I was interested in hearing Jesse talk about Milford and those first couple, like before the season started and Milford got dropped. That's probably like the most I've sort of heard him sort of speak about it. And you could sort of hear it a little bit that probably wasn't happy with how it was going, and they were right, weren't they?
Yeah, well, I guess they found a hidden gem anyways. That Katoa is a freak, bro. He's 19 years old and killing it, but Jesse's the first one to tell you you're a weak gun if you're at training.
Yeah? Oh, cool.
And you're not ripping in. So I imagine Milford would have copped a few friendly words from the old big dog.
Yeah, the old Rewa hard. Culture round, pretty cool.
The Marlins.
Everyone from Rewa always represents Rewa harder than anyone else. Bro, them and dudes from Taranaki for some reason. Those are the guys that rep the most, man.
Yeah, bro, and they rep it hard. They wear Marlin budgies like every day. I think they just get rinsed and repeated.
And they put up the Germany flag too.
Yeah, bro. Jesse spent more time in Aussie than Rewa though. He moved to Orange when he was 16.
Oh yeah.
I don't know why he's not repping Orange hard.
I think I was just when you said Orange, like Tina's from there, for Sumalawi.
Yeah, I think he is.
Bro, I look at your Melbourne team that's been picked apart. Imagine pulling all that back. Yeah, it was a joke, wasn't it? The team that you guys had for a bit.
Bro, there was the 2020 grand final. Our bench was Dale Finucane, me, Tino, and Nico Hines.
Fuck, that might actually rival the 04 bench from the Doggies, bro.
Bro, that's
eventually
pretty shocking bench, bro.
Shocking.
Jesus.
Yeah. Oh, culture round. Obviously, proud Māori boy. I remember that game when you played Māori, scored 2 tries, and that was was that like the moment where you started to because you used to come on and make a bit of an impact, but that was like the start of
that was
the
rise,
eh?
That was the sort. Oh, not really. That was like the hooker rise, where that people actually generally looked at me as a hooker. Because that was 2021, I think. I think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't remember actually. It was 2 Māoris ago. 2 Māoris games ago, which is 2021.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we had just won the comp in 2020. So I think I'd already had a little etch in history or making myself known to NRL. But yeah, that 2021 season, I guess, was my best season thus far individually. But yeah, I was pretty stoked. The Māoris game, I actually broke my cheekbone in that game, so that was lucky. I didn't have to miss any games for that. But that game was sort of the turning point, I think, for Māori All-Stars Rugby League. I think in past times for the Indigenous and the All-Stars, I think they didn't take, it was sort of like an NBA All-Stars game. No one really took it seriously, that seriously. And now the last 3 games you've watched, you can tell that
everyone cares.
Everyone cares. They're representing their culture, for real. They're not just going out there and doing a spectacle for the NRL. You can tell that everyone's out there representing their cultures. And, that's the special thing.
And the cool thing about it, bro, you get to see guys you link up with KP. He's Māori, but he sort of picked the Aussie side, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's cool to link it. Dylan Walker, that was
Dylan
another
Walks,
one.
Yeah.
It's cool to link up with
Dane Gagai?
Yeah, Dane Gagai that you would never expect that you'd ever play with. So, yeah, I've only played in 2. I think the first one was an absolute shocker. For Feeder gave us a nightmare.
Down in Melbourne?
Yeah, but I guess I'm looking forward to doing another one.
Yeah, because a lot of people talk about the NRL season's long and hard as it is, but sometimes when you have those week breaks, when you could dive into your culture and there's a lot of promos and stuff, but you come out feeling good, don't you?
It's funny, you can see the kind of difference between ideally the Māoris always have a grouse forward pack, and then the Indigenous always have a grouse back line. That's just the bodies that we've been gifted from God, I guess. The Māoris are just these big, tough guys, and then the Indigenous are the ones that just can tear a game apart.
It's we just had culture around. I see you guys walking through with the potus and to the All Flag on your back. That must be cool, because growing up as a Māori kid, was it something that you were your family instilled in you that you're proud of, or was there any cultural shame there?
Nah, see, that's the thing that I think New Zealand do a lot better than Australia is we learn our te reo, our history at school. I lived on Waiheke Island, couldn't be any more white privilege than Waiheke Island. And I still went to school, and every morning you had to count numbers in 10, had to sing the New Zealand anthem, but in the Māori, you had to learn
the Māori anthem. The Māori sweeter
vowel,
too, eh? Yeah.
You had to learn the Māori vowels. You had to learn all those things that was mandatory, and I wouldn't know anyone in New Zealand that couldn't count to Māori.
Yeah,
I'll count to 10 in Māori.
Yeah,
and I don't even know anyone in Australia that is count to 10 in Indigenous.
Because I think the Indigenous language, there's so many different languages. It's te reo's singular. Bro, my nephew, he's 7.
But you could in that state.
Yeah, for sure.
In that area, if that school, you could learn the language at school at an early age. I don't see why you couldn't do that.
The thing is, in New Zealand, it's just getting stronger and stronger.
Yeah, I've never ever felt, apart from being called a Hori or something, which I wear on my back, I am a Hori. Apart from being called a Hori, I've never been racially vilified.
Oh, okay.
Felt vilified in New Zealand. No way. I think it's not something we really went through as much.
Oh, for sure.
Now, I guess obviously stolen land and all that, but we're doing a lot of work to get a lot of that back. So. It's a bit different over here though.
It's cool, but like you said, because I'm Cook Island, but we grew up with Māori culture around you. I used to play for Turanga Wawa. Me and Quade used to play for Turanga Wawa.
Cook Islands.
yeah, just playing the Māori comp.
Yeah, he looks cookie.
Yeah. Oh, he got a big toe. He's Māori.
I had Cook Islands was in my Wikipedia.
Oh, was
for
it?
Years, bro, and I kept getting named in them potential Cook Island teams.
Yeah.
I had to go and change it, and then message you. I was, bro, I've got no cookie in me whatsoever.
Bro, funny. I made the New Zealand Māori side after 20s, and they played the Kiwis.
Yeah.
And there was hardly any Māori foot, and I made it, bro. And I said yes, and then half a day later, I was I rung him up. I rung up the coach. It was 2008 too, and I was like, bro, I'm not Māori, man. And he goes, fuck, not even a little bit. I was like, bro, literally nothing. So I was gutted because we would have played the Kiwis. Would have been sick.
Who else is cookie? Joey.
But we got a good
Zane Tiravano?
Zane, yeah. Bro,
what's with you cookies and bloody Tukoroa? What's going on?
Nah, because a lot of them come to Tukoroa for work. So there was a big factory there, and all the work happened, and they told all the islanders because there's 15 islands in Cook Islands, and they call it the 16th. Yes. Well, we could have a nice team. Val's Cookie,
Yeah,
Joey, Jordan Rapana.
yeah.
We could have him at Isar Masters.
Yeah, I think everyone thought Val was Mouldy, but he's not.
No, Cookie.
Yeah, that's a.
It's a good looking race too. Some of the boys.
I'd like a
looking
little
alright too.
history lesson because it's weird. I'm a Mouldy Norwegian, so that's my bloodline. Now, obviously, I don't know anything about my Norwegian side. I grew up in New Zealand, born in New Zealand. Like that's my grandparents, but there's more Mouldy Norwegians in NRL than you think. Chance Nickel Klokstad,
Yeah.
Mouldy Norwegian.
What's in New Zealand? Are they? Or that some? Are they some?
I think they're German.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Joseph Tarpany, Mouldy Norwegian. Me, Mouldy Norwegian. I was like, I've never heard of a Mouldy Norwegian outside my family.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, apparently after the wars, there's a few Norwegian like descendants that travelled over. So I guess I'm one of those.
Yeah.
Pretty stoked.
Yeah.
Pretty stoked. Viking.
Trying to say that at parties to girls when you're younger too, eh? Trying to
I'm
sound sexy.
Norwegian. Over in Europe.
Yeah, got a swanny on.
Yeah, I'm Norwegian.
Bro, obviously, like, I know that it's been doing the rounds about the boxing stuff. Is that, like, because I know you can throw, you used to be able to throw them, and I've seen you fight on Mad Monday in that video.
Yeah.
Is that something that generally interests you?
Oh, not at the moment, eh? I just can't see where it would fit in, like, for, I guess, my life at the moment. Like,
Because it's a big camp, eh?
It's a big camp in the off season, and I wouldn't want to take it half-hearted. Like if I'm going out there, I wouldn't want to go out there ill-prepared, and then you're just doing 4 weeks, 4-week camp, 6-week camp,
Then roll into a preseason.
then roll into a
Yeah.
preseason. Like I think it's something I'd entertain later in my career when I'm a bit more settled down and
Yeah.
not trying to travel the world and stuff like that when I'm, in my off season. So
Yeah, when you get your 8 weeks, you want to be gone.
yeah, I
eh?
want to try go places, and I think they're trying to change it to 9 weeks.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna get that too.
It should be more, bro. It should be 4 weeks before Christmas, 4 weeks after, then start playing, man.
My thoughts would be the time I would like most of is so from Chrissy break is 2 weeks. I'd like to see that extended.
Yeah.
Because like that's when you want to be around your family and friends is around Christmas and New Year's. That's when you need the more time off. I'd say like the week, the after the season you can just go traveling and you can go have a good time. But you don't need 8 weeks. You could probably go
Oh, so you'd rather cop less then?
I'd cop less and then take more for the Chrissy break.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. That's just how I'd feel because that's the time where I feel like I always run out of time to hang out with my family and friends. So I could easily do the 6 weeks and then 4 weeks. I'd
Man.
love that.
You know what coaches are like? They're tapped, eh?
Yeah.
Let's do a beep test on January the 2nd. Don't get on the piss. You know what they're looking at, bro? Polynesians, boys. 60% of the Polynesians.
I'd love to do the beep test. Like, I can do the change of direction. Like fitness is good, but it's the ones who they do like the 2K time trials, the 4 and 5. I'm like, bro,
4 and 5.
these
suck,
little
eh?
legs, man. They're the worst. Like apparently the calf muscle is the worst muscle to have on an athlete.
Is it?
Yeah, they're just useless, really.
Got some calves on you too. All right, bro. Obviously, like you're quite ambitious. What's the goals for this year? Like, obviously, like I know I look at the Roosters Instagram and it says we play for premierships.
Yeah.
Is that it? Is that as simple as it?
That's simple as it.
Yeah.
Like that's, bro. When you walk in the front door of the centre of excellence, you win in there.
Yeah, I
actually.
was in there.
Bro, the first thing is we play for premierships, and like I think at Melbourne that was like always in your head, but it's like not spoken. It's just like we worry about the next week, worry about the next week, worry about the next week. But
Yeah.
here, it's just a vision and a goal. Like that's what you want, and ideally that's my goal. Like to come to the club, showed faith in me.
Pay you well.
Yeah.
You don't hide from that.
Pay me well. I need to deliver, and I don't want to say I deliver, but we need to deliver as a team.
Yeah.
But I need to deliver as a player, and that's the goal.
Fuck, I love it. All right, we've got some exciting projects coming up with us. It's cool. We've got a little crew, me, you, and Artie.
Yeah, I'm keen. It's good to have your circle small.
Yeah. The day that everything happened, you were in here and like, fuck, you just kind of, let's just go. Who cares?
Yeah.
Let's just keep moving forward.
Just keep moving forward. That's the only thing you can really do. I think you can't really sit and dwell on it all, really.
Yeah. But yeah, we got a couple cool ideas. We'll sort of announce them a little bit later. I normally just jump on and just say shit, bro. And everyone's like, fuck, why hasn't that happened? Yeah. Yeah. All right, bro. Fuck, thanks for jumping on. We'll get you on probably once a month and just catch up and chop it up.
Thanks, bro. I'm keen.